how are you? Happy Serpent Sunday. My name is Adam, and this is Goolsby Serpents. Hey, this is video number 2. Video number 1. Last week, man, I appreciate you guys stopping by, giving it a watch, giving it a like, maybe gave it a share, maybe you subscribed. I appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, maybe you can do that like, subscribe, share, and all those kind of YouTube deals, right? But I appreciate that. So video number 2 this week, starting it off, just a little bit of recap of number 1. Man, 50 years on planet Earth. It was fantastic last weekend. My beautiful bride, she surprised me left and right. Here I am. She's got these plans that we're going to go out of town for your birthday for your 50th. I'm like, oh, sweet. Sounds good. But not only that, she hooks me up. She sends me to a barber to get my beard's all did and my hair's all done and did up. And I had a good time doing that. I've never been to a barber before, and they used a straight razor on me and all that. And it was cool. A hot towel. I enjoyed it. It was nice. And then, but I get home, and now I know why she sent me out. I get home, and she's greeting me in the driveway, and I get out of the car, and she says, "Okay, now you got to come to the backyard, but you got to keep your eyes closed." So, of course, I'm not going to walk with my eyes closed. I just put my head down and cover up my eyes so I can't see in front of me. And I listen to my wife best I possibly can, and so I follow her in the backyard, and she says, "Okay, you can look now." So I look up, and my good friend of mine, Eric, is standing in front of me, and I haven't seen that dude since, it's been 10 years. Last time I saw him, I drove up to Oregon on a road trip and hung out with him for a week, and that was 10 years ago. So it was amazing to see that cat, man. He's a good friend. Those friends in life that a lot of time can pass, but once you come together again, it seems as if no time has passed at all. He's one of those friends in life. I enjoy his company. He's a cool guy. I go on walks every day, and he joined me on a walk while he was here and all that. So that was cool. Once again, I enjoyed his company. So not only that, so here I am still thinking that we're going to go out of town, and I knew we were going to my mom's. We go to my mom's, and as we pull up, my buddy Eric's with us in the car, and my wife, of course. And there's cars around the house. I'm like, oh boy. And so we get into the house, and here I am thinking there's going to be a bunch of people in the house. There's nobody in the house. Everybody's out in the backyard. It's a beautiful day outside. My mom has a pool. Go to the backyard. Nobody in the backyard. Well, my mom's got a little bit of like a patio area towards the side of the house. Well, their family and friends were all hiding over there, and they came running around. Surprise! And so, yeah, they did that to me, that's for sure. They surprised the living hell out of me. I had no idea. For one, it started off my buddy Eric being here. I thought the surprise was over, and we get to my mom's, and there's even more. My family was there, aunts, uncles, cousins. It was beautiful, man. They put tears in my eyes. It made me feel loved, feel honored, blessed. Shoot, I didn't know that many people liked me, to be honest with you. But yeah, so the way it ended up happening is I walked out in the backyard, and everybody kind of lined up and gave me a hug, and told me happy birthday and a little bit of small talk. So the next person come up, give me a hug, give each other a hug, and greet one another, and it was awesome. And so as the families passing by, the friends are passing by, and everything. My brother's standing there. Well, my brother lives in Texas, and his brother, pardon me, and then his wife is standing there. Well, once again, they live in Texas, man, and they came out just for my birthday. Excuse me. So yeah, I was blown away. Blown away. Here I am thinking we're going out of town, and everybody came to me, man. I felt very loved, and yeah, it was amazing. So here we are, first video. It was my 50th birthday. Second video, and it's Father's Day. And here I am, and I'm blessed to have 2 children of my own. To you gentlemen out there, blessed to have children in your life and all. Happy Father's Day to you. Hopefully you have a good Sunday. Happy Serpent Sunday. And yeah, so my boys, shoot, my oldest will be 23 next month, so the next few weeks, and my youngest, he just turned 20 years old. My oldest, he lives in Central California, and my youngest lives down with his grandmother now. Life circumstances put him there for the time being, but it's fantastic that he's able to do that. And so my oldest, he just graduated from Arizona State University with his bachelor's, and my youngest, he is just waiting for a phone call to get started at a school for the electrician trade. So I'm proud of those kids, man. We've had a lot of good times together, raising them up, playing baseball, and then here they go, they see dad get into snakes and everything. And one thing, it was fun. They'd be in there playing video games or whatever, and I just be able to go and drop a Retic on their lap, and they're all right with it. Yeah, we'll watch them, Dad, while you clean. They didn't, pew, 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 pew. Hey, I'm cleaning Nacho. I'm cleaning Magnus the Red, And so Magnus the Red, um, my boys and I, we went to Fountain Valley. And the reason why we went to Fountain Valley, we took a day to the reptile zoo down there. And I think it was like $9 to get in at the time. So me and the boys, we went in there and checked out all the reptiles they have at the reptile zoo and all. And at that time, I was just keeping ball pythons. I was just, I wasn't even breeding them yet. I was just getting involved. I was raising up my animals. Knew I was wanting to breed ball pythons. I had no intentions on breeding retics. I am breeding one pair of retics right now. Their babies are in the incubator and they're due to hatch anytime soon. But so my boys and I, when we went to the reptile zoo, I brought home my first retic. After getting into the ball pythons and doing a lot of research on YouTube and meeting people and talking to people and asking questions and getting to learn about the reticulated python, because when I was keeping snakes when I was in high school, and it's quite a bit of time ago now, retics, they're a big no-no. They're not that way anymore, man. They are absolutely amazing creatures. Here in captivity, I have 8 of them, and the first one that I got, his name is Magnus the Red, and me and the boys, we went down to the reptile zoo one day, and that's who we came home with. So that's who I'm going to show you today, talk about a little bit, is Magnus the Red, my introduction to reticulated pythons. I hope you enjoy his company like I enjoyed his company. Of course, I do like this through the whole video. So that trip that we went to the reptile zoo, my boys and I, that was July 8th of 2018. The reason why I know that is that I wrote down the first day he was here. I've done that with all my snakes. First day here, and I put down the date they arrive at the house, and they come under my care. So yeah, the first retic, man, this guy right here, he used to do the laundry with me. He used to do the dishes with me. Whatever I was doing at the house, this guy was doing it with me. He would get all coiled up and just kind of chill on the back of my neck and across my shoulders. And like I said, I'd be able to do the dishes and he'd just hang out. He's a cool snake. I bought him just for a pet. I had no intentions on getting into breeding reticulated pythons. I got into the ball pythons, and that put me onto YouTube. Yeah, here we are. And doing more research about snakes, and then learning body languages about how they, how to read their body language and when they may strike at you, and when they're shy or whatever that may be, when they're relaxed, when they're hungry, when they are actually asleep. And you can tell by that, just by, especially with this guy right here, he gets his head all crooked. This guy can knock out. So you don't want to startle him, waking him up. So one thing I was taught with, I learned anyways on YouTube, is with tap training. So you use a snake hook and you just tap the head of these guys once you open their enclosure. It's not like you rip the enclosure open to start tapping on their head, open up their home. I like to give them a moment. Sometimes they won't give you that moment. They're thinking it's feed time right now. And there's times where they will come striking out at you. These guys, with the 8 retics I have, we've all learned together. There is times where they just want to eat and they'll come out hot. But majority of the time, I open up their door. I give them a chance to figure out what's going on in the room, and give them a moment to think about it. I don't stand in front of their enclosure thinking that they're going to get food. But yeah, Magnus the Red, this guy's a 50% dwarf, and he's 37.5% Jampea and 12.5% Seleyar. Now, what does that mean? There's 2 terms in reticulated pythons. You have dwarf and super dwarf. I like locality retic term better, but with the way that the industry has gone with these guys, if you will, the dwarf and super dwarf is quite known. But this guy is a dwarf retic, and that's because of his localities. The mainland retics, the big retics, the big gentle giants, the ones that can get 16 foot up in length. Well, the dwarfs, they're said, you know, they're pure line dwarfs, these smaller islands that these animals are found on. Pardon me. So Jampea is an island, Jampea Island. Seleyar is an island, Seleyar Island. So these islands are small, so in return, these retics got smaller. Long history, just over the centuries, the ocean's rising, the ocean's dropping back down. These guys were being dropped onto other islands, smaller islands, food not as available. And so they've gone through, over the years, what's called insular dwarfism, or referred to as insular dwarfism. These guys like to out in the wild, from what I hear. I'm sure they'll eat about just about anything, but they are bat eaters. Yum, yum, let me have some. Yeah, but I like Magnus the Red. Once again, he's a pet. He is said to be possibly het albino. His parents both were het albino. And from what I recall, it's been a while now. I've had him in my life for in the next few weeks, it'll be 7 years. Once again, he got here on 7/8 of 18. He was hatched on 4/3 of 18. So let me back up a little bit and I'll show you some length. I got some chairs here in the backyard. He eats once a week to 10 days. He's a pretty active snake too. I enjoy his company, man. He's one that's got me a couple of times, but once was totally my fault. And the other time I must have had something on my arm or whatever, because this guy right here, he's pretty dirty. You know, he likes to slip around in his poo. But look how beautiful these are. These colors right here, like dark metal gray. Yeah, man, this guy's gorgeous. But yeah, he likes to slither around everywhere. So, you know, it's not like I'm at work and I get home and I find a mess, like, oh, yay. But there was a time I was getting him out and clean him up. He was kind of wrapped up around my arm. And I was talking to my wife and, hey, you know, sweetheart, I think we got to rename this guy. As I was walking out of the Serpent cave, talked to her. And I said, we got to rename this guy. We should call him Stanks. Well, I swear he looked at me like, what did you say just now, sucker? And he bit me. Oh, man. You know, it was slow motion too. And the only reason why I can say that is because I began to get my left hand involved to try to prevent it from happening. Well, I cut my finger on one of his fangs in doing so. So, of course, I backed out of there real quick. Yeah, that sucker, man, he latched onto me. And that one bugged pretty good because it was kind of a slow bite. It wasn't a real quick puncture. And myself, I work with needles every day. I work in pharmacy. I mix pharmaceutical meds or oncology meds. And, you know, throughout the years I've been doing it, 16 years, I've hit myself a couple times with a needle. Luckily enough, they're not dirty. But I'd rather get hit by one of these snakes than one of those needles, I tell you. But that one hurt. So how do you get a snake off of you or a retic off of you? Well, you bite them back. That's one thing I learned. So I ended up stretching out his tail a little bit and I'd chew on him like he was a little bit of a corn on the cob, and sure enough, he let go. But that wasn't the first time I had to do that though either. He's got me 2 times in the 7 years I've kept him. He's a cool snake, man. He was a little defensive. I was learning, you know, we were learning together. So, but nowadays, yeah, I love this guy. Well, I've always loved this guy, but yeah, he hasn't opened his mouth to me or struck at me or anything of that nature, unless he thinks that maybe I walk by the enclosure and I catch him off guard or something like that. He'd get a little pissy pants, but he's a beautiful animal. Ah, Magnus. Yes, Magnus the Red. Hey, buddy. There he is. All right, you guys. So Magnus the Red hatched 4/3 of 18. He's been in my life for almost 7 years now. Here, well, in the next few weeks, he will be. He's a cool creature, man. I enjoy his company. He's one that likes to move around quite a bit in his home. But I want to think that maybe that's because he was so used to going out so often when he was a hatchling or yearling, and when he was able to fit on my shoulders when I was doing the dishes and everything. Yeah, he's a cool snake. All right, Magnus the Red, first retic. Yeah, he's been, I've learned quite a bit through him with handling my others and all. And so next week, probably going to have Gomez on the channel, talk about him a bit. He's going to be a father this year. So once again, gentlemen, happy Father's Day to you fathers out there. And again, hopefully you have a good Sunday. But I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel, giving the video a watch, and giving it a like. Maybe subscribe to the channel. We got video number 3 coming up. 1, 2, 3 next week. So yeah, thank you very much for the support, y'all. Appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one. Bye.